Okay, I think we are live. Let me check here. Yep. Okay. All right, we are live here with Sterling. Me and Sterling, Ryan and Sterling here to break down the Roval. We had actually a busy day today, practice qualifying for Xfinity and then practice qualifying for Cup, the Xfinity race. And tomorrow we got the Cup race. So first off, before we start, obviously, our good buddy, it's been a host on the show, Cam fan, obviously affected by the hurricane. The first hurricane, what was that, Helene?
Something like that, yeah.
And then, the second hurricane, Milton going through Florida. So anybody affected by those, obviously, that's terrible tragedy. Hopefully everybody gets back to normal here sooner rather than later, as normal as normal can be, obviously, after all that. So, and shout out to Brad and Ben at the fantasy racing world champion. I always get that wrong.
I do too, yeah.
at the Roval. So they are at the Roval. So hopefully they're having a blast. Obviously they got in there winning them contests. So that's cool. Hopefully they're running DraftKings as tabs up.
Yeah.
Drinking lots of beer and eating lots of whatever they serve there. I don't know. Hopefully it's filet mignon, but it's hard to tell.
I doubt that.
I doubt that too.
Probably Dollar General lunch bowls.
Here's a pizza lunch bowl or nacho lunch bowl. So pretty exciting race today. I mean, we always say that about the Xfinity race. Hopefully the Cup race is half as good.
It'll be a snoozer.
Yeah, I mean, Watkins Glen, that was the last road course race, and that was supposed to be like everybody's all hyped up over the tire, and it kind of turned into a snooze fest from what I remember. So
I used to like these road courses, but anymore I hate them.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the damn car. I think we're bitching about that every week.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty exciting race. Obviously, at the controversy at the end, I honestly turned it off because I thought
that was bullshit.
Everybody was like, "Yep, race is over," and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I shut it off, and then kept updating DraftKings, and I saw I still had time remaining, and I'm like, the hell? And I kept refreshing, and then I went back to work for 5 minutes, and then I got back auto refreshed. I'm like, this is messed up. So I jumped back on, and they're running under caution, and I was like, okay, never mind. So yeah, they threw a caution. Parker was like, what, a foot away from the start finish line?
I guess I never really actually seen it, but from what people were saying, it was like right there, and the broadcast was like, "Oh, you got to think that." There is a few hundredths of a second between hitting that button and the caution light coming on. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You're on that broadcast. Oh, Parker Kligerman wins, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's I shut it off and went back to work. And so
if I would have bet Kligerman to win, oh man.
Yeah.
You would have had to done this show alone.
I don't blame you. So yeah. What do we got? 109 laps here. So, I mean, not a lot of dominator points to go around. So I think we're going to be looking for more, place differentials. I mean, speeds or fast lap points, obviously, will probably play a little bit more of a
27.25 points for lap sled and about 49 for fast slaps, but that doesn't have any cautions taken out, so you won't have quite that many.
Yeah, so I am going to go over and try to, let me share this tab instead. Okay, so here is the point standings, and this is a cutoff race. And the reason we will show this is because people might be a little bit on different strategies. So we see Chase Briscoe. So Chase Elliott right now is in the catbird seat, basically. He is in at the moment. Joey Logano's 13 points below him. Daniel Suarez looks to be about 20 points below him. Austin Cindric, what would that be? 29 points, and then Chase Briscoe
32 points.
32 points. So these guys here need to point their way in. Cindric, what, qualified 5th? Briscoe, I believe, like 30th. Let me go back.
I don't think Suarez, Cindric, or Briscoe can point their way in. I think these guys are racing for the win.
Okay, so Suarez 13th, Cindric 5th, Briscoe 25th.
And then I believe Logano is 4th. So
yeah.
we could see Logano stay out, take stage points in stage 1. Being that I don't really think Logano is a great road course guy. I think that would be a terrible decision. I think he needs to short pit and just try to win it, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Now I was disclosure. I was at work, kind of trying to watch bits and pieces of practice, bits and pieces of qualifying, and Letarte made the comment about like he feels like Ford and or Chase Briscoe, like their rear shocks, he feel like they were just soft and they brought the wrong shock or something like that. So like me and Sterling were talking, you might kind of see maybe with Briscoe qualifying 25th, maybe he changes it. I'm not going to pretend like I really understand it. But the way Letarte was talking, it seemed like it was a pretty big miss, and Briscoe did qualify 25th. So, like me and Sterling were talking beforehand, we wouldn't be surprised if maybe they don't go to the back for approve adjustments. If they do, that might sway me a little bit more on Briscoe, but it doesn't look like Briscoe really had a good practice or anything. But
no, his practice did not look good. But like you just said, if you get an update that Briscoe is to the rear for unapproved adjustments, that would actually entice me to want to play more of him.
Yeah, because obviously not a lot of people would probably be on him starting 25th, having a shitty practice, and then having to be scored from 37th or 38th.
Well, scored from 25th.
Yeah, my bad. I said that backwards. Yeah. Yep. So that might steer. He might be real low owned at that point. But yeah, other than that. So
I don't think he'll be real low owned, but I think it could lower his ownership. And I mean, we'll hit on more of him when we get to him, I guess.
Yeah. So I think everybody else that's kind of like right on that cut line. So I'm going to say like, we're going to say probably.
Elliott. What do you think they
I'm gonna say Larson's probably safe. I mean, he's
52 up. He's good.
Yeah, he's good.
He has to like finish dead last.
Hamlin's 15 to the good. Now, granted, a lot of people would have to pass Hamlin, but Hamlin did qualify like 15th and have a good.
I think he's 18th.
18th.
I honestly didn't really look at his practice yet.
Now we will go driver by driver. You just want to kind of just talk points right now. Bowman, really good road racer, underrated. I think he's probably one of the most underrated road racers. He is what would that
26.
be? 13 up from the cut line. Blaney, he's I feel like as a road racer, he is 12th up or 12 points up. And
Blaney, what are you looking at?
Right here. Up from 8th. Or no, wait, yeah, we would go from 9th.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm sorry. Yep. Sterling's right. So yeah, we would look. Jeez. Yeah, I completely messed that up. So yeah. So Reddick would be 14 to the good. Blaney would be 25 to the good.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then Bowman would be 26 to the good.
Hamlin is 30.
30 to the good. Yeah. So I would say right there in that range, those are the only drivers that I think are racing right now is Hamlin, Bowman, Blaney, Reddick, Elliott, obviously, Logano, Suarez, Cindric. So, but if one of these guys, if Cindric fires off good and happens to get the lead, Elliott and Reddick will probably sweating.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's Reddick and Elliott kind of really more worried about racing each other.
Yeah.
And then Bowman and Blaney, they're probably, I guess, Hamlin, Bowman, and Blaney probably all just kind of want to make sure they finish in front of each other. Like,
Yeah, I feel like if Bowman, Blaney have a good stage one, even Hamlin has a good stage one. Now, like I said, Hamlin qualified 18th, so it's going to be hard for him. But if they have a decent stage one, then they could probably ride around the rest of the race. So
I think Hamlin short pits just because I don't really view him as a great road course guy.
yeah, I
So
don't either.
I think at most he can probably maybe get to like eighth or seventh, and at that point, is 2 or 3 extra points really worth staying out and losing that track position?
Right, right. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and go over practice here, and we will go driver by driver. So we will start at the top. Obviously, everybody knows SV. Road racer finished second there, Watkins Glen at the last road race. I don't want to say taken out, but got moved there by Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher won the race. What's your thoughts on SVG? I mean, obviously he's in that call league. What is he in the 13 car this time?
I think so. I would have to
Yeah,
look.
yeah, I think he's in that 13 car. I just we were talking. I hate SVG and Dinger in these races because it's like you don't play them, they're gonna probably finish 1-2, dominate the race. You do play them, SVG is gonna have that mechanical. What did happen to him at the Chicago Street Course? Was that mechanical or did he?
Oh man, that's too far for
I
me to
know.
remember.
I can't remember. I remember he had a problem at the Chicago Street Course, but I can't remember if he got taken out by a
Now
wreck.
I'm 90% sure that he was trying to chase down Bowman and couldn't.
Yeah, you could. No,
Or maybe
I think he was out. I can't remember. But yeah, it's in this 13 car. Also, we have seen a lot of issues with that 13 car. We what was it? At Michigan, they had a mechanical problem, and then I don't know. It's just colleague used to be one of the top tier, not top tier, but used to be like a mid tier kind of cars. They still are, but they do run into mechanical problems. I feel like a lot more than they don't.
they tried to expand into the Cup Series way too soon. They used to be on the verge of being a top tier Xfinity team, and then when they went Cup racing, their Xfinity program went south. Their Cup program was never really great. It was never terrible, but it's never been like top notch. I I always try to break them into like 5 tiers, and I'd probably put them right in the middle.
I would,
Now
I would
maybe more
too.
like 4th tier.
I know that's. I don't want to say I'm gonna fade SVG because like I hate fading him because of course you fade him and then he's gonna come out but I just don't really know if you need SVG in this slate.
I don't know because this it's gonna be weird because with Reddick I'm probably gonna end up jumping around a lot during this show because of the laps and how their approach is kind of different. But I feel like you're gonna want at least one of those guys inside the top 6, which is gonna be like SVG, Dinger, Larson, Reddick, and Logano, and then
Yeah,
whoever the fuck Cendric, I guess.
yeah,
Which I don't really have interest in most of those guys. So I feel like you're gonna want to play one of SVG, Larson, Dinger, or Reddick
yeah.
because I think one of those guys is a main lap leader, and there is going to be enough points that you do want to try and get the lap leader.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Yeah, it's gonna be you're gonna want to chase lap leaders. SVG could be a lap leader. It's just like we kind of say I don't know what he ended up with in the Xfinity race, like how many points or whatever, but we kind of see like
Their strategy was absolutely fucked.
yeah, it was. So like maybe but I mean That's going to be kind of probably the same thing because it's like they, they don't have a full time pit crew. They don't have Travis Mack is the crew chief, and I think Travis Mack's a pretty decent crew chief. So
The thing about this race is I don't necessarily think pit crews matter a whole lot
yeah,
as long as they're not like leaving loose wheels or over the wall too soon or something stupid like that.
right.
But like kind of lumping these guys together again, though, I feel like Reddick is the most likely to stay out and take stage points,
Yes, yes,
which could hurt him in the long run. But then
yes.
again, if he doesn't work his way back up in the second stage and get well inside the top 10, you're going to see him pit short pit.
Yep.
So then that might put him right back up there. So basically, the point of this is a fairly unpredictable race. Like,
It really is, and that's what being so unpredictable. I don't know what I'm doing with SVG. I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, he could be the best play on the slate, or it could be one of those where people are, short pitting, long pitting, pitting before the stage, pitting during the stage, and like he just gets shuffled back and doesn't lead a whole bunch of laps or whatever. And still, even if he finishes second or third, it's like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. So next up, we got Kyle Larson starting sixth, as you can see. Oh, and by the way, guys, we have this sheet pulled up. So this is, what would that be? The best lap? Like the number?
this is the practice speeds numbered from best speed to worst. So like one, that guy was fastest lap.
Okay. Okay. So
Oh,
then
I thought
average.
you were talking about the sheet overall. I didn't see
No,
what you were
no,
doing there. But
the
yeah,
best column. Okay, so the best column is like the lap number.
the best column is their
How
like
the one
their
lap
overall
average.
like their best lap. Like for Allmendinger, he had the best overall lap.
Okay, I got you. I got you. We should have ironed that. I should have asked that before the show, but yeah, sorry guys. Yeah. So
Well, maybe people looking at it don't really know either. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so then the numbers up here. If you guys can see that, I'm sure in the yellow, that is the lap actual numbers. So lap 1, lap 2, lap 3, lap 4, so on and so forth. Now, they had a break and then they came back out for another 20-minute session. And yeah, I could see that. Now, the best then for that session, and then their average, and then lap numbers completely again. So Kyle Larson, as we could see, was pretty decent there. The fall off was kind of alarming a little bit. They came in, and then it looked like. Now, another thing we don't really know is what adjustments they could make between rounds, because we'll get to it, but there are cars that like went from good to bad, then went from bad to good. But it looks like Kyle Larson's car then in the second round of practice definitely looked more consistent, I will say. But yeah, starting sixth, I think Kyle Larson's a decent pivot. Like if you do want to pivot off of SVG, Larson, you got a little bit more place differential built in. He definitely can get around here. So he won Sonoma, I believe, and then Watkins Glen, a year last year I think he won Watkins Glen.
I believe, yeah.
So yeah, he definitely knows how to get around here. So that's not a bad pivot. What do you think about Larson?
I I like Larson, but like to be honest, it's kind of hard for me to pick between these top price guys. But
I know.
I'm probably, I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow with the contest being shit. I'll have some in the 15, and then I might just run a mini max just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
And if I do, I'm gonna make it a rule that I have at least one of SVG, Larson, Danger, and Reddick.
Yeah, another thing with Larson is he's kind of like, now outside of like Talladega last week, seems like he's kind of been on a little bit of bad luck.
Yeah.
So he is a guy that he does go for broke a lot. So that's something to keep in mind. But starting sixth, he's not a bad play. And then next up, we got AJ Allmendinger. Now we already talked about SVG. I feel like Allmendinger is a little bit of the same play. Definitely a road course. What you'd call, we could probably call it dinger instead of ringer, but road course ringer. Definitely looked like he had one of the best cars in the first round. Came back out, pretty decent second round.
And then his pit crew and crew chief, all that, they kept telling him in that practice that he was clearly the best on the track, and he
didn't like his car.
No.
I did see that. Yeah, he didn't like his car. So if they could get that, I dropped my phone. If they can get that car right, then maybe we see a better AJ Allmendinger, which is crazy to think. So, what do you think about the dinger? About the same thinking?
Yeah, honestly, I think SVG, Larson, and Dinger are pretty much all the same play, and I think you should start your lineups with at least one of them.
Yeah. Now, as we say that, I probably might have a couple lineups where you start with one of these next two people, just for something different, just in case something weird happens and weird pitch strategy. But these next two cars looked fast as hell. William Byron starting 10th. Definitely looked fast as hell. We saw William Byron run away with the race there at the I believe that was Coda. He started on the pole. We didn't think he was a road course racer. We kind of were like, oh yeah, fade Byron, and then Byron completely went out and kicked our ass. But I mean, this car is just consistent. I mean, look at that practice, just nothing over. They were all top 10 times. So starting 10th, I just like the consistency of that car. So I might play a little bit more William Byron than I might be. He is he has been a decent road course racer, and then definitely the practice times definitely back that up. What do you think?
Yeah, I do like Byron. It's really more of a starting spot, in the fact that I don't think we have to worry about him not being strategy locked into the next round.
Right.
So, like, he should definitely short pitting. There's no point in them not to be short pitting. And with his times being pretty much a top 3 car, like,
Yeah.
I feel like Byron is potentially, I feel like he has the best scenario going into it to be the winner. I don't think he wins, but I think it sets up perfectly for him to be in the best spot, if you like that.
Yeah.
Even makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like he doesn't have to worry about stage points. He doesn't have to short pit. He doesn't have to play the strategy game. He can just go out there and run his race and go for the actual win. Is basically what you're trying to say, and I agree. So Byron might be a guy that I'm probably going to be higher than the field on. I don't know. We don't have ownership projections made up yet, but that's probably where I'm at.
Yeah, that's basically, yeah. I think Byron is a great play.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, I think it's going to be hard to. Can you shove an SVG and a Byron in? Can you shove a Larson Byron in? Can you shove a Dinger Byron in? Because, I mean, we were talking pre-show. There's not really a lot of good punts, so it's like you're going to have to get creative. And you might be. I haven't built yet, but we'll definitely get there.
I played around a little bit with it, and I actually built some lines that had SVG and Dinger.
Okay.
So you can definitely do it, and I feel like that's gonna be an be our approach, I take.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I like the definitely picking one of them and then picking maybe a Byron Elliott, because Elliott's, I think, basically a carbon copy of Byron, other than Elliott starting 7th, Byron starting 10th. But Elliott, I mean, a lot of 1s and 2s in that practice, guys. It's Elliott's got a fast car too, especially in that second round. Now
he definitely showed a lot of speed in practice, but
yes,
because of his point situation, I'm a little nervous just because
Yes.
I don't know how they're going to play that. Like, say Reddick stays out. If you're Elliott, you almost have to stay out just so you stay close to him.
Right. Yeah, this might be yeah. So as I said about a carbon copy, Sterling, you are right. Byron might be a little bit more of the safer play because he can just go for actual track position, not worry about points, where Chase Elliott might chase more of the stage wins rather than the actual race win if it, panned out like that.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, as far as just flat out having a fast car, Chase Elliott does have that. So next up, we got Tyler Reddick. Starting second. I'm not going to lie, for starting second, practice times, I don't know. Tyler Reddick doesn't get around road courses. That's one thing you can't take away from him. But his practice times, I mean, just he only had, he does have 1 second in the first round. Second round, he came out. He did look a little better. He does a first, 3 first, and a third, but a lot of teens in there.
Yeah, it's makes me a little nervous because I just
And we got teammates. I don't know if inside or outside is going to be the fast preferred line. I didn't watch enough of I was at work. I watched the Xfinity race, but I didn't watch it, if that really makes sense. But
it was the outside lane
so you
for
might
their starts.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think I'd rather play like a Byron Elliott and try to get to one of them. And I think
I think I'm gonna fade Reddick just for the simple fact that I do believe he stays
Yes.
out stage one,
Yes.
takes stage points. I think now.
Yeah, I
This
think
is like-
Elliott has a faster car, and Elliott's got the place differential. If you really want to play a guy in that range, I'd rather play Elliott.
Yeah, that's I agree. Just because of the place differential, he's got a little safer floor. He was
Yeah.
definitely faster, and I think he's at least back in the day you would consider the the king of road courses. But
Yeah, it seemed like that one year Elliott was the king of road courses, and the very next year Reddick kind of came and took that crown, and now it's I don't even know who Larson. I don't know.
I don't know if there really is a clear one.
No,
right now.
there's really not.
But before we get too far off here, I want to bring one thing up about Reddit real quick. Just the simple fact that I feel like if you can find somewhere that offers staged winners, I think he is a great bet for stage one.
Yes. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with like different books and stuff and try to find different bets because I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of them have like cool bets, and I only really go to DraftKings, and DraftKings don't really have.
I'll occasionally look at FanDuel and a couple other ones, but usually like literally 99% of the time it's just DraftKings for me.
Yeah, that's all I do. I'm kind of lame, I guess. But next up, Chris Buescher, 9,100, start 29th. And me and Sterling were talking pre-show. This guy obviously won Watkins Glen. He has been Mr. Consistency on road courses. I mean, he's had that string of like top 10s. But starting 29th, just did not practice good. Now, this is like an RFK kind of thing with them. Sometimes it's just like they just don't unload fast and they make adjustments, or they just don't try. It's not that they don't try. That's not true. But like, I don't know what happens, but it's like I feel like we're always like this with Chris Buescher and Brad Keselowski. Although Brad did qualify pretty decent, I think, but
yeah.
But I feel like this is, Brad qualified 8th, but like this is with RFK. Right? Are they fast? Are they not fast? But yeah, I mean, his practice times just show that he's I mean, if you were to guess, finish 20th?
Busher?
Yeah.
You think he finishes 20th?
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you were just looking at his practice time and
Oh,
we're like,
if you're basing it strictly off practice,
yeah,
then yeah,
he
I would
literally
say
looks like a
he's
20th place car.
yeah, 15th at best. But honestly,
It's
I
yeah,
think he finishes top 10.
I do too. That's what I was getting at. Like, if you just look at his practice times, he looks like a 20th place car. But this is what RFK does. That it's not steering me away. I'm still playing Chris Buescher.
Yeah, for me, Busher is probably going to be a core piece.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll go over like who we think's going to be our highest owned guy and stuff at the end. We'll do fades and all that stuff. So we'll maybe have some fun stuff. So next up, we got Christopher Bell starting 12th. Bell did, I believe, win here at one point.
That might have been Xfinity.
That might have been Xfinity. Okay. Pretty decent.
No, you're
I am right.
2022 Christopher Bell won.
I thought so. So he does know how to get around the Roval. Had a very up and down practice. There's a lot of fast laps and a lot of kind of ride around laps. So starting 12, I actually kind of like Christopher Bell. Now how's his playoff situation again? He's good, right?
I can't remember. He should, yeah.
He's
plus
good.
57.
He's good. So yeah, he's going for the win, guys. I think Christopher Bell's a great play. I like Christopher Bell over Reddick. I like Christopher Bell over Elliott.
Yeah, I do too. And I feel like Byron and Bell are pretty much the same play. And I feel like those are probably two guys that you don't want to play together just because I think their prices kind of cap each other.
Yeah, I would agree. I would do like an SVG or a dinger with Bell. Like, I'd kind of do that. That way you got the guy starting up front, maybe lead some laps, and then you got Bell who could work his way up there. I agree with you, Sterling. Yeah, don't do like a Byron Bell start. I wouldn't like that at all. So, but yeah, Bell will definitely be played in my lineups. So next up, this is one of the guys me and Sterling were talking about pre-show. We got the what the hell road course did Ross Chastain where'd Ross?
He won Coder a couple years ago.
Yeah, where the hell did he just win at? Not too.
Shit.
I can see it, but
yeah, I can too.
But anyway, he did have a fast car at Watkins Glen too when Chris Buescher won. So I honestly expected him and Suarez to unload faster than they did, just because he did have a fast. I remember he qualified on the pole at Watkins Glen, led a bunch of laps. He actually held off SVG. So yeah, I expected him to unload fast, but he kind of didn't. And then round 2, he got definitely a lot faster. So like I said, I was kind of watching in and out at work. I don't know what changes or whatever they could make between practices, but yeah, I think Ross Chastain's in play too.
Yeah, I think he is a great play, starting 16th at 8,800. He's not even in the playoffs at this point, so he's going to be on the optimal just go out, try and get the win strategy.
Yes.
I think he has potential to be like a 5th to 8th place type car. And I definitely like some Ross Chastain at 8,800. Practice might hold some people back, but that just gives me more reason to want to play him.
Yeah, and it's kind of enlightening to see that he came out and was faster that second round too. So that Kansas is where Ross Chastain just won.
Yeah,
that's right. I had to look that up. That was driving me nuts. So Ross Chastain did just win it at Kansas, but like I said, he did have a super fast hot rod at Watkins Glen, which made me. I thought maybe they would, like I said, unload fast here with Daniel Suarez, but he did not. And then the next guy was actually kind of surprising to me because McDowell is normally a road course, kind of made himself into a decent little road course racer, but
Yeah, he actually, I don't know if he still is, but at one point he was there like a goat kart road course coach.
yeah, I remember
So
that.
he's definitely been around it a long time. He knows how to turn right.
Yeah, I I still like him. I'm still gonna trust his ability. And I mean, there's going to be carnage somewhere, I think, and I think McDowell offers you a decent floor. 8700s, that's tough, but I think you could probably get some McDowell in there for place differential.
I think McDowell is somebody that you have to, if you're doing like a 20 max, you have to make it a point to get some of them. Just
Yeah,
looking back at his road course history this season alone, a second, a fifth, and a seventh. He did finish 39th at Dakota, which obviously something happened there.
yeah,
Last season, he was 12th, 7th, 7th, a win at Indy, and then 2 DNFs.
yeah,
2022, he had a 13th, 3rd, 8th, 8th, and a 6th, then a DNF here at the Roval. But I think McDowell is going to be a great play.
yeah.
I don't really like the price.
I don't either. That's what the more like I'm sitting here, it's like, man, that's an expensive price. Like if he, do you have your calculator up? So if he would, let's say he'd finish 8th. That would be a place differential of 13. So you get 13 plus however many points 8th place gets.
So that'd be like, if I'm right on 8th being 36 points, that'd be 49 points for McDowell.
49 points at 9K or 8,700.
Which is like
Ugh.
almost 5.5.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's not
A
terrible.
little over that, actually.
Yeah. So that's not terrible. So hopefully, I guess if he finishes like 8th, that's 5.5 times value. That's kind of what you're asking for at a road course. I think that doesn't have a lot of.
He needs like an 11th place finish to pay off.
I could see it.
Yeah.
I could see it. Maybe the price.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Would you rather play McDowell or Chastain?
I'm going to honestly say Chastain because of the speeds that he showed in the second round of practice.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. What about you?
I honestly don't know which way I want to go on it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously McDowell does have the safer flourish, but like you just look at the way Chastain unloaded the second round. I mean, third best or 8th best, 6th best, second best, 7th, 4th, 7th, 9th, 16th, 5th, 13. So like I see that and I'm like, man, he must have, I don't know, he found something.
Yeah, we have ownership up now, actually, and seeing. I was gonna say I'm gonna let ownership decide for me which way I go between
All
them
right,
two, but
let's see it.
they're pretty much the same with McDowell at 17 and Chastain at 20.
All right, so out of curiosity, so let's get back up to the top. SVG, what's his ownership?
He is 33.
Larson.
24.
Allmendinger?
25.
Byron.
25.
Wow, Byron is 25% owned. Whew. I wouldn't have guessed that. How about Elliott?
He is 21.
Reddick.
21.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a lot of ownership between them.
I don't see how that works out.
I don't. That's what I'm sitting here thinking. Like I don't know how those top guys can all be. But I guess if you're starting to line up with two of those guys, but you'd have to literally everybody would have to start their lineups with two of them guys. But you're gonna have the people that maybe try to do 3, maybe try to do 1, maybe try none. What about Busher?
41, which I expected him to be high owned, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably pretty accurate. So there's your reason to try to not play him, but I still feel like he's a great play.
I do too. Bell.
Bell is 23.
Okay. Chastain. Oh, yeah. We just said, what are they? 14, you said?
McDowell 17. Chastain 20.
Okay. 17 and 20. All right. So thank you for the ownership. So that's, yeah. So definitely go off that and see who you're fading, who you're not fading. But next up, we got Ty Gibbs starting 19th. And this is one that was a head scratcher. I just expected Ty Gibbs to be faster.
Yeah, he's in Xfinity. He was like the king of road courses. I don't know if because of how different the Cup car is that he just hasn't been able to adapt to it yet.
He's honestly been decent at other road courses in Cup. Like, I mean, he's been
he's
decent.
got 2/3 this season.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and what was that? Coda. He was.
And he pretty much has always been a top 10 car.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he.
Yeah, and you're right. It was Coda that he was trying to. We thought he was possibly going to get down there to Byron.
Yeah,
it was Bell, his own teammate, that was holding him up.
Yep. So it's just, I don't know. I didn't expect him to start as bad or to kind of be as bad, but round 2, he looked horrible. I mean, there's, I don't know, but I think he's still got. I think it's like the Michael McDowell where you're gonna want to play some.
The thing right now that's hopping to me at Ty Gibbs is I'm seeing his ownership projected at 26, which I think is completely wrong. If he's anything near 26, people are fucking stupid.
Like, I'm not that high. I'm gonna be under the field on that. I think you got to play some. I think like this 8K range, I think is gonna garnish a lot of ownership.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Kyle Busch.
I can't do it.
I hate it. Oh, it's tough. Like, I just want to play Kyle Busch because I just want him to win so bad. But the car actually wasn't bad.
No, his practice looked really, really good actually compared to what I would typically expect out of him.
Yeah. To be honest, like it wasn't terrible.
His practice was about where he qualified.
Exactly. And I just feel like
he was fucking really good last season on road courses.
He was. And it didn't really translate to this year though.
And you know damn well he's going to be going for the win, so they're going to be short pitting. Damn it, Muss.
I know.
I didn't have any interest in him.
I let you take the lead on this one. I just was like,
seeing him at like 16% ownership, I'm starting to actually kind of like the idea of some Kyle Busch because I feel like he is hands down for sure going to be the low zone in that 8K range.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to have some. Definitely a fast car was up there on the charts from what I saw. Like I said, bits and pieces while it worked, but starting 11th, yeah, you got to realize this is probably one of the riskiest plays in the 8K range, but like he is going for a win, and he is probably that team is going to do whatever it takes to. They're going for broke. I mean, so.
Yeah, this season on road courses, he finished 9th, 12th, 9th, and then their most recent one at Watkins Glen, he did finish 30th, which I can't remember what happened.
He was involved in that lap. Was it the lap 1 incident with Blaney? I believe.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he was caught up in that, but he did qualify bad that race. But yeah, he hasn't been bad. So Kyle Busch is in play, 16%. That's probably right around where I'll be, honestly.
I honestly might be over that.
Okay. All right. I don't hate it.
Last season, he had in the 6 road courses, he had 4 top 5s.
He kicked ass last year at road courses. He did. And I mean, at the Roval, I don't think he won. He didn't win a Roval race, but he did finish 2nd, I believe. I don't remember, but yeah, obviously I want to see it.
Going back across the last 3 Rovals, Kyle Busch has a 3rd, a 3rd, and a 4th.
Wow. Sterling, are you in?
Man, I did not want to be, but
Yep.
I am.
I
He
I
might end up being one of my favorite plays just because of what he did last season, and he looked decent in practice. He's definitely going to be on that 2-win strategy,
yeah.
and I don't think people are going to play him.
I don't
I don't.
either. I would honestly be surprised if he hits 16% ownership.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. So next up, we might have my favorite play on the slate.
Ooh.
I think
I'm going to say you change your mind when you hear his ownership.
Oh, yeah, I probably will. Alex Bowman, he just is in that Hendrick car. Every other Hendrick driver looked fast as hell. He has an average finish of like 7.7, I believe, on here or road courses or something like that.
Yeah.
He is like a low-key underrated, maybe now overrated once I hear the ownership, but I just thought maybe he was a under the radar kind of guy. What's the ownership say?
Take a guess.
40.
Close. 37.
Oh my god. Damn it. Yeah. Obviously pivot to Kyle Busch.
Yeah. The thing that scares me about Bowman is what strategy is he going to be on? He is what, 26?
Yeah.
26 above the cut line. So he should be fine as long as he doesn't have like a terrible day.
Yeah.
But what do they do? I want to say that they short pit and play it for the win.
Here's what's crazy with this ownership. It's like, we talked pre-recording that like all these guys are in plays. It's going to be a tough slate. And like every guy we've talked about so far has been like at or over or around 20%. Like there's really like nobody that's like, I mean, Bowman is, the 30-some% or whatever, but like nobody's been like 10%, 8%,
No, so far I think Bush is the lowest we've talked about at 16.
There's really like nobody we're Xing out that we've talked about.
Not yet, but we're getting real close.
Yeah, we are, but like, yeah, that's what I mean. This slate's wide open. It really is. That's kind of where I was going with that. But next up, we got Martin Truex Jr. Is he higher or lower than Bowman? I feel like he's going to be higher.
He's pretty much right there at 35,
right there.
Maybe 36.
All right. So I wouldn't. That doesn't shock me. Starting 30th. I don't know what happened in qualifying. He had a fast practice. Round 2 looked decent, but round 1 looked good. Comes out and qualifies 30. I don't know what happened in practice, but yeah, I think Truex is a great play at 8K, starting 30th.
I don't like him.
You don't?
I don't like him on road courses.
He is terrible at road courses. I completely agree. But do you think he sneaks into like a 17th place finish?
I think he could, definitely. Yeah. But
yeah.
I think for me to play him, I'm really going for more like a top 10, maybe 12.
Okay.
Which he needs 40 points to hit 5x. So let's say 15th. He could get there on a 16th place finish, which I think it's probably right around where he finishes. Maybe a little lower than that, honestly. But
so honestly, with that ownership, are you like a fade Truex in this race?
Because of the ownership, I think I am. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't hate that play. I don't hate that play because I mean, Truex is having the worst luck out of anybody. I know I always make the joke that if you see the guy get on an airplane, you're turn around and asking the person to find you another flight to wherever you're going because he just has that bad of luck.
Yeah, and honestly, I think at this point he's just over.
Yeah, he's on a boat somewhere in his head. He's in a tree stand on a boat. He's over this.
Yeah, he's just ready to do some fishing.
And he's honestly he's back there with the squirrels, and you know how kind of big of a hothead he is sometimes.
And you can't pass on road courses in this car. So the
that
only
is
way he
true.
gets up there is short pitting, which he probably will do, but is it going
Yeah.
to be enough? Probably not.
That is true. That does make me actually want to play Kyle Busch a little bit more too, because he is starting in 11th, and
The
you
more
can't pass here.
No, the more I look, the more I think
Yeah.
Kyle Busch is a top 5 car this week.
Yeah,
But
we're talking each other into it. So
yeah, it's going to be real bad or real good.
yeah. Next up we got Ryan Blaney, 7,800, starting 14th. He doesn't really stick out as a road course racer, but I mean,
He doesn't, but I'm going to have to double check this. For some reason, I feel like he does well here.
yeah, he might. I mean, practice times look good. Second round looked terrible, but first round looked good. I remember at Watkins Glen, he was involved in that lap 1 incident, so we didn't get to see that.
He's
So
been he's like a 10th place car
okay, so
through history. Anyways.
basically, what I'm gonna say here is he basically qualified probably where he's gonna finish.
Yeah, I could see him doing slightly better, but
yeah, I don't see him top 5.
And I think he's in a position that he probably could just go for stage points and kind of try to keep that 25-point cushion.
Okay, yeah, I don't see the upside with Blaney. He's I don't think he's gonna finish top 5 or anything, and probably not gonna lead a bunch of laps. So I honestly might be out. That might be one of the guys I X.
Yeah, let's look at his ownership. Seeing Blaney at right around 28% is what he's projected.
Hell, are everybody getting these like who
Pricing's pretty wild this week.
Yeah,
too.
it is. I mean, I guess Blaney's only 7,800, but just seems like we got a lot of ownership over everybody up there at the top. So next up, Daniel Suarez, and same thing with his 7,700 starting 13. Same thing with Ross Chastain. We talked about it's like he actually unloaded better than Ross Chastain though. Like, that wasn't terrible. Like you're seeing 21, 19, 11, 12, 14. And then round 2, he unloaded really good. So probably another guy I'm going to X, but he's going to be, what's he need again? I can't even remember. He needs a win.
Yeah, and the thing with, I almost said Bowman for some fucking reason. The thing with Daniel Suarez is when they first introduced this next gen car in 2022, he was like almost the guy to beat. He had a bunch of top 5s, had a win. But I'm sitting here, I'm looking at it, and he's actually wrecked out of 3 Rovals in the past 6 years.
Okay.
He has a DNF in 3 of the Indy Roval races. He had a DNF in one of the Daytona road course races. So when it comes to these like infield road courses, he has not done well.
Mm-mm. Yeah, he might be a guy I X, but I could see it kind of biting you because he is going for the win. I could see some kind of oddball strategy where he ends up finishing top 5 because I think he'll hang around 9th to 12th. And then, like I said, I mean, you could see like a late race strategy or something and him getting up there.
Because of his point situation, I think they short pit.
Yeah.
And with his ownership at, where did he go? His ownership is single digit. Seeing him at like 7% right now. I think that makes him an interesting like $15 tournament play. I don't think I'm playing him in anything small field or high dollar entry. But if you're even the Chrome Horn this week is shit. So
shout out DraftKings.
Yeah, I think he would be an interesting play in the 15. He's not someone I'm going to make it a point to play. let me rephrase that. He's not someone I'm going to be heavy on, but he's someone that I am going to try and get pieces of.
What do you say, 7%?
Yeah.
He is a decent pick for 7%. Yeah, I could. Yeah, I could get on board with that because I think a lot of people are going to go to this next guy, and it's like you could pivot and do Suarez and hope that
I would even maybe be willing to argue you play them both.
Yeah, that's a good point. So next up, we got Austin Cindric, 7,500 starting fifth, faster than hell in practice.
Yeah.
A lot of ones, maybe not a lot of ones, but a lot of top five lap times every single lap. So definitely a guy for 7,500. What is his ownership like?
Right there with Suarez. He's a little bit more at 8%.
Wow, I will definitely be over that.
Yeah, and we know what he did in Xfinity. He was at one point a road course king.
Yeah. He is like the thing. I feel like a lot of people are like expecting him to drop back and everything, but like we saw this at Watkins Glen, that last road course. Nobody could pass. Like we saw like Zane Smith and Carson Hocevar and like all these guys just stay in the top 10, and I think Cindric 100% does that. So Cindric might be, now that you said about the Alex Bowman being severely high owned, I mean Cindric might be one of my favorite plays on the slate.
Yeah, because I think he'll be on that going for the win strategy as well.
Yeah, I can't believe that 8% ownership. I think people are missing the boat on that. I mean, he is a road course kind of guy in a fast car. I mean, that thing looks good. I think. I mean, yeah, he did have a second run wasn't as good, but still, that first run, worst lap was 6th. That's crazy. So next up, we got Joey Logano, 7,300 starting 4th. Logano to me just isn't a road course racer.
No, and his ownership's right there with Suarez and Cindric, 8%.
Yeah.
I honestly don't want to waste any time talking about Joey Logano.
Nope. I'd rather play Cindric. Denny Hamlin. Shitty practice, always has shitty practice. Starting 18th, not really a road course racer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think I have any interest at all in old Dennis, but
no, I mean his best finish on a road course was the very first road course this season, and that was a 14th.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I'm out. That is an X. Next up, Chase Briscoe. We kind of talked about him before we got into the driver breakdown. Didn't look good. Needs a win. Steve Letarte did. I didn't catch all of it. Don't quote me. I'm not a shock expert. He was saying that.
Don't quote me. I ain't said shit.
Yeah, I ain't say shit. I'm not a shock expert. I'm not a crew chief by any means. I don't pretend to be. But he's saying something about looks like, they definitely didn't. They look soft or something. So we said wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't go to the back. What is his ownership like right now?
Lower than I expected. He's just below 18%, and I'm definitely going to be over that.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely going for the win. I mean, it's winner go home for him. So,
like we said, his practice looks like shit. I can't.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be at 18%.
You think he'll be more?
I think he'll be lower.
Really?
I think people are going to look at that practice and just kind of just write him off probably.
He's definitely not known as a road course guy, but he has had flashes.
He has, yeah.
Didn't he win Indy?
Yes.
That must have been Xfinity.
No, he didn't win. He was supposed to, and they DQ'd him, and he spun Denny Hamlin after he got DQ'd. Do you remember that whole controversy?
I don't.
Did he jump the Reese? I can't remember it fully, but like basically they had a restart with like 2 to go. He jumped the restart or something like that and he basically they black flagged him and he went down into turn 1 and dumped Hamlin anyway. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember bits and pieces of it, but
Yeah. Yeah, Hamlin was all pissed, but
he's another guy out there that needs to win. He's definitely not going to be in position to get stage points in stage 1. He's obviously going to short pit. I think he starts stage 2, probably top 15, and I think he short pits stage 2, and I think Briscoe is a top 10 car.
ooh, that's a bold take.
It is.
I don't know if I'm there.
I think he's a 10th to 15th place
Okay,
car.
I could get behind like a 15th ish, 12th, 15. Yeah,
15th would be 37 points.
That's
So
over 5x.
Just over
Yeah.
5x.
Okay, that's not bad.
And I think he definitely finishes better than 15th.
Okay, Brad K starting 8th, 6,900. Doesn't really stick. Nothing really.
He qualified way too high for me.
Yes,
I don't think
that's
I can do
basically what I was trying to find another way to say that. Yeah, he qualified too high for me. I don't think I'll have any Brad K. So his practice times weren't really anything. He did have a 3rd, 4th, but Todd Gilliland, definitely one of those Furniture Row racing cars that
front row
or Furniture Row.
That's been a while.
Yeah, that's been a while. Front row racing cars that definitely like to play with strategy, but I don't think that there's going to be enough room for strategy to find him up to the front. He is a decent road course racer, but I feel like he outqualified himself here. Would you agree?
I'm seeing his ownership at like 6%, and he does have a couple top 10s on road courses this season. He has a couple top 10s last year, and I'm not 100% sure on this, but I want to say he won at least one truck road course race.
Yeah, honestly, like he is a good road course racer. Like I do.
His practice was not the greatest. Like he had put down some laps. I think he can definitely hold his position. He's definitely, there's no point in him going for stage points. I think he's on the short pitch strategy. I think he is a dark horse for top 10, and it would be worth maybe looking at a top 10 bet.
Yeah. My phone's at 1%, or I'd look at DraftKings odds. It might even be dead right now. But
I just looked, and they don't have anything like that up yet.
Okay. Noah Gragson starting 32nd. I don't know. Noah Gragson at road course is just scary. It always seems like Noah Gragson gets into trouble at road courses. Like I remember that one year, but the first year they went to the Chicago Street course, he like hit the same wall like 4 times. Like
So did everyone in that one, though.
Yeah, but it just seemed like that Wendy's car was just always in a wall. Like Wendy's definitely got their money's worth because it was on the TV a lot. But he scares me. But he did have a decent practice, to be honest with you.
Yeah, his practice was kind of shocking to me. The first one, he was like a top 15 car. Second one, top 20.
Yeah.
And at 32nd, 6,600. Let's say he finishes 20th. That's 23
plus 12.
35
so 35 points. Yeah. That's over.
You're going to want more than that, but it's still over 5x. So like, if you could make it work.
Yeah.
And his last 2 road courses finished 11th at the Glen, 14th at Chicago.
Oh, okay. So he is a little bit better of a road course racer.
He's getting there.
Okay. Now, what's his ownership look like?
His ownership is lower than I was expecting, seeing him at right around 12%.
Yeah, I'll definitely be over that. Started 32nd. Yeah, he can't really hurt you.
I think you're going to need someone like him in this range to make things work.
Did Bubba Wallace out qualify himself for you?
I think he did.
I think he did too.
He's never jumped at me as a road course guy, and
he's getting better.
he is getting better. But if he finishes top 12, I'll be surprised. Like
I would too.
I don't think he just. I don't know.
Did you see practice where he went out on Reddick's bumper and like tried to like?
Yeah.
I mean, kudos for him for trying, but yeah, I think he outqualified himself. I'm not playing any. Josh Berry. Now he is, I think, the SHR guy that is not good at road courses at all.
He is. If he finishes better than 30th, it's because more than 8 cars wrecked out.
Yeah. He's not good. What's his ownership? I'm hoping a lot of people see 36.
4.
I was hoping a lot of people saw the 36 and was like, "Oh yeah, you can't hurt me. Yeah, let's play a bunch and watch him finish 32nd." But I guess not. Next up, Justin Haley. Haley does kind of stick out to me as like a top 15 road course racer. His practice didn't really back that up for me, but I feel like Haley's a decent. Like I said, I feel like he's a decent like top 15, top 20 road course racer.
Yeah, I would agree, and definitely top 20. I feel like he's top 15 as well. But
yeah,
this year he's been kind of back and forth. 17th at Coda, 33rd Sonoma, 16th Chicago, 29th at the Glen. So he's due for another top 20.
I think something happened at the Glen with him. I can't remember.
I forgot all about this actually until it just popped out here at me. But he almost won that first Chicago race.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he was holding off SVG for a while, and then finally SVG. Yeah, you're right.
And then 2022, he was like a consistent top 20, top 15 driver. He finished 5th here in 2022.
Yeah, I like Justin Haley. What's his ownership looking like?
A fuck of a lot lower than I expected. He's single digit at 8%.
Huh?
I think that's a mistake. I think he comes in at double that.
Yeah, I would say.
I'll probably be triple that.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely probably be. To be honest, me and Sterling were talking pre-show. There's not really a lot of good punts. It's like, I think Haley is...
No.
6,300, like that's kind of a punt, but that's not really a punt because, but I'm gonna have a lot of Haley. I will say that. Next up we got Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I think I'm maxing him out at starting 24, 6,200. Just not. I don't think he's a road course guy, is he?
He's not like stand out. He could, like, it wouldn't shock me if he got to like a 15th place. I'm not playing him. Just I don't see him getting lucky 2 weeks in a row.
I don't either. Carson Hocevar. I feel like this could be a guy that could, I don't want to say like break the slate or anything like that, but I feel like he could be in the optimal lineup.
Holy shit, that's honestly the first time I've looked at his practice, and there's
a
lot of top 5 laps in there.
Yeah, and I remember at Glen, he was up there towards the front.
Finished 3rd.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if Hocevar like slowly works his way up.
He'll be on that to win strategy. So
yep.
I think he's another one of them guys that has an outside chance at a top 10.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would not be shocked in the least if Hocevar isn't in the optimal lineup because I feel like a lot of people are going to be off of him starting 20th. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, that's the Carson Hocevar starting, 17th to 20th, and he's going to run about there. But I think he gets up there.
Yeah, I do too. Because
I do.
I think he can actually gain a decent amount of spots just through the race, not just through pitting.
I agree. What's his ownership looking like?
His ownership is just at right around 10%.
Okay, I like it. I like Ho so far this week. Definitely. Eric Jones starting 37th. I expected a little bit more. I mean, I feel like Eric Jones is, I don't know, top 20 car.
His practice didn't look good. His
No.
history doesn't look good. He was good here, well, good on road courses in 2022. Last season he sucked dick,
Okay.
and this season he was not good.
All right. Yeah, maybe Eric Jones isn't good. For some reason, I was thinking like he was.
His ownership is also higher than I was expecting, around 16.
All right.
So.
Yeah, I'm probably off. The next guy, this guy I told you I'm letting you take the lead on because I have no idea what to think of this. Austin Dillon starting 22nd. Unloaded looks like a 15th place car. They're just all around 15th. Second round comes out fire on all cylinders.
Yeah, he makes a really confusing play. Like
exactly. Me being the RCR fan, I don't want to sit here and paint rainbows when it's not rainbows, but it's hard to. I don't know.
I think he, just basing off of history and that second practice, I think he is like a 15th place car. At that point, that's probably going to be enough at 5.9K.
Yeah.
That'd be, let's see, 20, that'd be like 34 points. So
that's almost 6x value. Yeah. That's not bad.
No, his ownership's at 4%, which makes me have a little more interest in him. And it's gonna be
an RCR kind of day, Sterling.
I feel like I'm either gonna get my ass kicked tomorrow or I'm soloing that 25K.
Yeah. And then we were kind of talking pre-show. We don't have to go over all these guys. I just don't know if there's any more good punts. I mean, Zane Smith was fast at Watkins Glen, but he is starting 23rd, which he started like 15th or something at Watkins Glen. I feel bad. My buddy T-Pain texted me. He was like, "Oh, check out my DraftKings lineup," and I was like, "What the hell are you doing playing Zane Smith starting 15th?" Like, he's a back marker, and then turns out what did he finish like 5th? I think he got like a top 5.
A lot better than I was expecting.
So I don't want to count out Zane Smith. What is Zane Smith's ownership?
It is like 16%. I think
that's tough because I mean he did have a good practice.
He was really good in practice.
Yeah,
for a couple laps, anyways. Like
as I say that, I guess Zane Smith is another decent one. I think it's like the same play as Austin Dillon, basically. But
I think Dillon, Zane Smith, Corey LaJoy are all three like the same play. You play one max, you definitely don't play multiples.
No. Probably no Priest, no Nemechek.
I actually like Priest. I think Priest is sneaky road course guy. He's 24th at Coda, 18th Sonoma, 34th Chicago, 9th at the Glen. 3 top 15s last season and a 17th. So I think he's a top 20 car at 5,600. You know he's on the right strategy.
Yeah. What's his ownership?
11%, I want to say.
Okay. Okay. You talked me into it. I'll be honest, I didn't have any interest in him, but yeah, he is hotter than hell right now too.
Yeah.
I mean that team's on fire. I don't know what got underneath that team or what, but and then we were talking pre-show about Kaz Gralla.
Yeah, I think Gralla is, if you love the rest of your lineup and you can't get to Priest, I think I would play Gralla. And I think I would play Gralla over Nemechek.
Yeah. I don't mind that either. I mean, Rick Ware, being in that Rick Ware car, It's not terrible. And Kaz Gralla is, I don't know what he raced outside of NASCAR, but I feel like he does have some road racing background because I do remember, I always go back to this with Kaz Gralla, but he filled in for Austin Dillon at that Daytona road course. I think Austin Dillon had the stomach flu or something like that.
I want to say that was COVID.
Or yeah, maybe yeah, it was COVID. I think you're right. And I think he got a top 10 or something in that car. So
seventh.
I yeah. So I he is a decent road course racer. It's just, I mean, obviously he is in Rick Ware equipment, and he does always sometimes get a little too aggressive. But any interest in Burton, Hemrick, Balicki?
Not really, no.
Yeah, me either.
I feel like Balicki could come in higher owned than he should. I don't think he's going to be like 10% or anything, but I'm seeing him at 2, and I feel like he probably will possibly be around 10%.
Yeah. So, all right. Favorite? No, we haven't built yet, but who do you think will be your highest owned guy?
My highest owned guy. I hate it because of what his ownership is, but it's probably going to be Chris Buescher.
Okay. Before ownership, I was all on the Alex Bowman train. Now, so yours is Briscoe, or not Briscoe, Buescher. I was looking at Briscoe there. So yours is Buescher. I hate something just tells me William Byron's gonna just something just is telling me Byron's gonna like come out and surprise us this race.
They could be trying something completely different since they're locked in. So
they could. I don't know. I hate to say Byron, but I might say Byron because I don't really I'm not really comfortable playing a lot of SVG and a lot of Allmendinger, and Larson is kind of, I love Larson, but he is erotic at times, I guess, if you want to say that.
I'm gonna have probably one of them guys in every lineup, honestly.
SVG, Dinger, or Larson.
Yeah. And I'm gonna make it a point to build some that have 2 of them guys.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Which, speaking of that, I just kind of want to quickly hit on that. I won't have more than 2 inside the top 5. Most likely not more than 2 inside the top 10. I could see having like a third deep top 10 starter like Byron, maybe Elliott, but most of my lineups will probably have just 1, maybe 2 in some.
So is there any high-owned guy that you're fading?
Martin Truex.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that. I think I'm going to, you talked me into it.
And then I would even go as far as saying fade Blaney and very light on Gibbs.
Yeah, I think I said I X Blaney out. I don't see Blaney being optimal at all, to be honest with you. And you said low on Gibbs.
Yep.
I don't hate that. It is so shitty this weekend, but yeah, that'll be it, guys. Anything else you want to add before we?
I don't think. I mean, you'll be able to look at this practice sheet if you get in the Rattled Cage podcast Discord, which
I will actually comment the invite link. So look down in the comments. I will comment that. I didn't realize invite links expire. So
yeah,
I didn't. I actually just realized that. So I will post a updated invite link in the show comments. So, but other than that,
if you're looking for any NFL talk, you can check out Mus and Andy on the Outlaw DFS channel. That's YouTube. And then Big E and I do the double coverage DFS on the Dynasty DNA platform. That's on Spotify, Apple Pod, all that shit. So
absolutely. So yeah, hopefully we crush some football tomorrow. So Yeah, that's DFS Outlaws and the double coverage on Apple Pod and Spotify. So I will put our show and guys, if you're not in our Discord, you guys definitely got to get in there because it is it's great. Like I said, we got a couple guys at the Fantasy Racing World Championship. I always get that wrong. And then obviously we got guys that have taken down GPPs and definitely some smart minds. So you can talk to us, you can talk to, Cam fans, great. Ben, Brad, Sterling. Trying to think of other top guys in there, but
we have Astukas. I can't think how the fuck it's pronounced.
Yeah, I saw he just joined. He's gonna run some Sims or something, he said.
Yeah.
So
there's like we don't have very many people in there right now, but every single person in there is like top notch.
Yes. So it is growing. Definitely get a part of that. But yeah, like, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff to help us out.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, subscribe, and if not, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks for watching, and yeah.